check this one out here, right now. Swish.
Defender sort of lets you shoot.
Still gotta make it, Dad. I'm still trying to impress him.
Remind me, what are his main health challenges? He's 92?
No, he's 93. My brother Steve says he's just outliving his parts. I can spend more time with you here, if that's what you really wanted.
But you just said you felt guilty because you're not sure you meant it. What do you mean by that?
I'd say I have a really complicated relationship with the extended care facility.
He wrote a book?
Yep, about his war experiences.
Tired, cold, and wet. We got the job done. You see, Paul, you wouldn't tell a private. Go across that field. If anybody shoots at you, come tell me. It's like telling him, your life is less important than mine.
So what do you do, Dad?
You tell him, we go together. We go together.
Well, lots happened in the last 2 weeks.
You went to see your dad?
Yeah, he's officially in hospice now, and I wasn't expecting that when I flew up to see him. I got there Wednesday night and stayed with Steve and Liz that first night. They live about 45 minutes from my dad's place, which I think I told you before. Then we got Jane on the phone from Colorado for one of those rare siblings phone conferences. Jane and her husband Matt were 5 days from leaving for a vacation to Australia they'd had planned long before my dad started to slide.
Would you please set up an appointment to talk to the hospice people? The hospital doc said he's eligible for it now, after these fainting episodes. And his last heart scan showed some weakness.
Jane, he's not terminal yet.
He doesn't have to be. Hospice care is comfort care for however much time he has left. Look, I have a friend who works for hospice. The main nurse sees him every week, and the nurse assistants see him 2 other days, and he stops going to all these doctors for routine checkups and whatever.
Yeah, those really wipe him out, and all they ever say is, just come back in 6 months. I'm still leaning towards Steve here, though. I'm thinking that if we get Dad to see Dr. Macklin next week, and then have this hospice discussion, when you're back from Australia and when I come back here in March.
March feels like a long way off. Look, guys, I don't think I can do this. Being 10,000 miles away in the outback and off the phone grid for 3 weeks and not know that he's getting better care than just the on-call nurses on the hall. I mean, he can barely even walk to his own bathroom. He'll fall again, go back to the hospital, away from his friends, away from his stuff. He needs 24/7 home health and hospice.
Liz's mom had a horrible experience with hospice when she was dying. And 24/7 home health is going to be expensive, and Medicare doesn't cover that.
He's got the money. I don't care if I don't get any of it in inheritance.
No, I don't either. I'm just saying so we all know.
Look, I remember Liz's mom had a bad time with hospice. But honestly, I think that's pretty rare. And Steve, home health will be better for you. You're the one that always has to leave your classroom and go up there every time he faints and goes to the ER.
I don't know. It's just, I think he's going to hate having all those people around all day. I see him once a week. I talk to him every night. Every time I bring up home health, he gets mad and says, I don't know what they're going to do all day.
Yeah, no, I've heard that too. I think part of it is that each one of us would hate it. I mean, if we couldn't take care of ourselves and had all these people hovering around all the time.
God, I know I'd hate it.
But at this point, it's about protecting him from a fall that'll make all this worse and even more miserable. I mean, breaking an arm so he can't even lift a fork or something?
All right, look, I'll try to set up a hospice meeting while I'm here this week. I mean, it might be a good time to do it. I know that he really, really wants you guys to have a good trip. So I think if he knows that there's something that he can do to keep you and Matt from worrying, I think he might just go for it. So I go up there the next morning and see him, and of course he seems pretty good. You know, every time they falter, you start thinking about making that big change, they rally and make you doubt if it's the right time. My mom was the same way. She was like that life-sized Bozo the Clown blow-up we used to have as kids. You know, they had the rounded bottom so you couldn't knock them down. She had all kinds of close calls, but kept bouncing back up until she finally didn't. Neither Jane nor I could get back before she died. Steve was the only one with her at the hospital. It was late. Dad was already gone back to bed at the apartment. She went unresponsive and slipped away pretty fast.
Not being there was hard on you, wasn't it?
Well, I just always thought we were all going to be around her when it happened, you know. Steve was there. Jane couldn't get there until a couple hours after she died, so she saw the body anyway. But I couldn't get there for a day or so, so they delayed the cremation so I could view the body. And I kind of wish I hadn't, because it was kind of creepy, you know. Talking to a long dead body. She was nowhere near that vessel. She had long gone. So I'm just really hoping to avoid that with my dad, you know. So, Dad, did the Red Sox pick up any good pitching in the offseason?
Well, they signed David Price as a free agent and got Kimbrel from San Diego.
Either of them any good?
Well, Price was 18-5 with 2 teams last year. Kimbrel, I'm not so sure.
So, Dad, when did you see your first professional baseball game?
Well, let's see. 1932. We were living in D.C. at the time. I was about 9. I'd never been to a game before. In our apartment building, there were these 2 black brothers. They were the elevator operators, John and George. They were great baseball fans. They were my best buddies. Sometimes I just ride up and down with them, and we just talk baseball and a lot of other good things.
So they really got you into baseball then?
Oh, they really got me into baseball. They took me to my first Senators game. Really? Yeah, it was May, around Memorial Day. Yeah, my father was away at the military officers training school, and John and George went to see my mother and asked if I could go with them. Well, she knew they'd take good care of me, and they did. So I walked hand in hand with these 2 black men to Griffith Park. We had a wonderful time. So the Yankees beat the Senators 11-8. God, I hated those Yankees ever since.
And then both your sons became Yankees fans in the 1960s just to spite you.
If you noticed, I didn't try to talk you out of it or give you a hard time.
Yeah, how come?
For one thing, the Yankees were terrible when you were rooting for them, and it didn't matter to my teams, the Senators or the Red Sox. But mostly because I just wanted you to like what you wanted to like.
Well, thanks, Dad. So you became a Red Sox fan because?
Because the Senators traded my favorite player, Joe Cronin.
Joe Cronin.
Yeah, to Boston in 1935.
You know, talking about baseball makes me think of John Foster. Does he still drive the van to the doctor's appointments and shopping around here?
No, he left about a year ago. His family started a catering business.
Oh. Now, he was some baseball fan.
Yeah. I miss talking to John.
Yeah, I'll bet you do. Too bad you guys never got a luncheon or something.
Yeah, too bad.
I said that knowing that it would never have happened. You see, John Foster is this delightful black man. And I've never known my dad to be prejudiced. Never heard him demean anyone because of their race or ethnicity. But I don't think he was able to jump that one hurdle that his whole generation had a hard time with, I think, for the most part, which is to really socialize with someone from another race. It really breaks my heart, too, because, you know, I think it really kept him from getting close to some people that he really loved.
So I guess the hospice meeting came off then.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, I ran around, made phone calls that afternoon, and got everything lined up. Steve and Liz were going to drive up, and we were going to get Jane on another call, this time a video conference. And we're hoping my dad would be up for it, but I wasn't so sure the night before because he kind of had a meltdown. Dad was doing his best to get himself ready for bed. I was trying to let him do it himself, but as was happening more and more, he just got stuck.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do now.
Well, you're almost there, Dad. You're really halfway there. There. Here, why don't you stand up and let me help you a little bit. Arms around my neck and up, up. I'm going to pull your PJs up from here, all right? I'll just get them up while I'm here. All right, there we go. Now back down. Just drop back down in the chair.
Okay.
All right, you got it. There you go.
Oh, God, I never wanted it to come to this. My kid's having to pull up my pants for me.
It's all right, Dad.
No, it's not.
Dad, you are the oldest person in the whole family tree. No one's lived this long. You're showing us all how to do it.
Oh, I'm a mess. You know, I'm not of any use to any of you anymore.
Dad, you're of use to me, all right? Listen to me. I need to know all of this. Your body and my body are almost exactly the same. I need to see how this works. I need to learn how to do this with as much grace and dignity as you have. And Dad, I just have a chance to honor you and be with you and help you a little bit. You've given me so much. I just have a chance to give you a little bit back now.
I don't know about the grace and dignity. I'm trying, but it's so hard.
Yeah, I know.
Please don't tell Jane how I'm doing. I don't want her and Matt to worry on their trip.
Well, Dad, they're going to worry no matter what. And forgive me for saying this, but you chose this situation.
I didn't choose this.
Yes, you've chosen not to use home health help. If you really want Matt and Jane to have a great trip and not worry about you, you take that help. Look, we need more people on our team, Dad. You and Mom moved in here 20 years ago so you'd have all the help you needed as you got older. Now, you haven't been using that help, and that's been great. And 2 weeks ago, you were doing everything on your own, but now you can't. Now, you might be able to in the future, but now you can't. And you're counting too much on me and Steve and Jane to be here when we can, but we can't be here all the time. And even when we're here, I'm not sure whether I'm doing stuff to help you enough. And frankly, I'm not sure if I'm physically able to do what I'm supposed to do. So, we just really need to look at that home health care option. Now, we're going to find out more about it tomorrow. But if you go that way, then your kids simply are not going to worry as much. All right, look, we don't have to figure it all out tonight. All right, let's just try to get in bed and get some sleep, okay?
Okay.
Here, put your arms around me again. We'll stand you up. All right, now just dance around here. That's good. That's good. All right.
Okay.
Here. Try not to worry, all right? Try to get some sleep, okay?
Nights are the worst.
How come, Dad?
Nightmares, leg cramps, and I have to keep getting up to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, you should probably be on a catheter. But until then, make sure you call the nurses, get some help by pressing the button, okay?
They're never fast enough. It's all right. I still can get up and do it myself.
Yeah. Oh, I do worry about that. Look, I'm going to keep the walker right here on the end of the bed, okay? Make sure you use it and take it slow.
Slow is the only speed I've got.
Right. All right. Try not to worry about it. We'll take care of it in the morning, okay? All right. I'm going to leave the bathroom light on, all right?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Sleep good.
Yeah.
I love you, Dad.
Love you, Paul.
Okay.
Mr. Williams, you need something? Oh my gosh. Are you alright?
Yeah, no.
Did you fall?
Yeah,
Okay.
I felt like.
Were you trying to get to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry.
Yeah.
Let me check you out. Looks like you cut your hand there.
Yeah, I guess
Okay, don't worry, don't worry.
okay.
Well, I'll get you taken care of, okay? I got you, alright?
Yeah.
I got you, don't worry.
So we have the big summit with the hospice people the next day, and they are all geared up to take his case. Steve's wife, Liz, is a lawyer, so she came up to help us review the contracts and get the assurances we needed from hospice. The nursing staff told us about a fall he'd had overnight trying to get to the bathroom. He was lucky, just scraped his hand a little bit, and I wondered if I'd locked the walker before I left the room the night before. So Dad, what all this means is that if you have another fainting spell or a fall like last night, they're not going to send you to the hospital.
And Dad, you won't need to go to all those routine visits with all your doctors anymore. So no more urologists, nephrologists, heart doctors, no more eye doctors.
So my eyes aren't going to get any better?
Dad, those exams and injections aren't doing enough good to have you struggle to get to the appointments anymore. They just take too much out of you.
What about seeing my regular doctor?
I'll be your head hospice nurse, Tom, so I'll be communicating with your Dr. Macklin. I'll check on you once a week. There'll be 2 nurses' aides that'll come in also to check on you, bathe you, give you a shave, pamper you a little.
Well, okay. And you are?
I'm Anna.
And Dad, they call this comfort care. So whatever trouble you might have with your kidneys, your heart, they're basically going to let nature take its course with you. And you already signed that do not resuscitate order some time back. This is just like another step.
And Dad, if you faint again, they're not going to call me at school. They're not going to call 911 and ask if you should go to the hospital. Right, Joyce?
Not if the situation can be managed here. Right. They try to stabilize him, maybe get him back in bed, and call the hospice nurse on duty. And they'll call you, Steve, if there's a decision to make, since you're listed as power of attorney.
But this is supposed to cut down on the stress of these unnecessary emergency room visits and overnight stays in the hospital, right?
That's right. Our job is not to cure, but to alleviate the symptoms as much as possible, but in your own home.
So what do you think, Dad? Dad?
No, I was just trying to keep up. You know, I'm never in a hurry to go to a hospital. The last time I was there, they hooked me up to 4 monitors all night long. And then I had these air pressure boots on. It would go off and on the whole night. I never slept a wink. I really don't think I get better when I'm in the hospital. No, sir. I think I'm worse.
No more EMT trips. They get you comfortable here, you rest and recover.
Yeah, that sounds better to me.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah, Liz. About your mom?
Right. We did have a rough patch with hospice. The communication between hospice and us was not good, especially around pain management medication toward the end. Now, that was South Carolina, a different hospice company. So I don't want to infer it will be the same with you folks, but I just want to encourage good and frequent communication with the family.
Absolutely.
We can prioritize our communication with you all for sure.
And Dad, since you're pretty unsteady and one of us can't always be there with you, the staff here does say that you can only be in your room if you always have a home health worker with you.
In the room, you know, I still don't know what those people are going to do all the time.
Well, yeah, Dad, they'll be in the room or at least nearby, you know, to help you get to bed, get you to the bathroom, bring you your meals, whatever you might need. Like last night, they would have been there to help you get to the bathroom.
Who pays for that?
Well, we have to pay for the home health care, Dad. Medicare covers hospice and any special equipment that you might need. But, that's what you saved your money for.
Well, we saved our money so we could give all of you something.
And we appreciate that, Dad. But none of us care if our inheritance is a little less, if it means that you can be comfortable and safe.
Safe is important, Dad. It's mostly the fall risk. It's like last night. If you'd fallen and broken a hip, they'd had to take you to the hospital where you just said you don't want to go. Or they'd have to care for you here and they won't operate on you because of your age. In either case, you just don't want to go there. You'd be in the pain that you've managed to avoid for your whole life.
You're right about that. Well, I have no objection to hospice coming in. Home health? Well, I guess we should give it a try.
Okay.
And you're going to have all these women coming in to attend to you. All the men here are going to envy you.
Well, I had 5 nurses and helpers into my room the other day, just looking at a rash of mine. One of the nurses said to me, she says, "Tom, when's the last time you had 5 women in your bedroom at the same time?" And I told her, well, says, I don't think I better go there.
And Dad, this is hard to say, but I think you should know. Especially with us leaving for Australia on Monday. That if you get worse for any reason, it's okay for you to go. While I'm gone. And if it goes that way, I'd get back as soon as I could. It would be all right.
I don't want to ruin your trip.
I know, Dad.
And Dad, that would be true for all of us. We'd want to try to be with you if we could, but if we can't, you know how we all feel.
Yeah, I know.
So it all started up over the next few days. The parade of home health workers.
So good.
9 different aides took shifts in the first 4 days, and Dad was a little bewildered by it. Each one of them showed a different degree of skill and empathy for him. He tried to stay positive, but he was definitely confused. They said they tried to get some of the same ones assigned more often, but since we'd started up midweek, this was the best they could do. Christina seemed to be Dad's favorite. I always appreciated that you guys had this sketch of Albuquerque up here. Mom never understood why I went there or why I stayed even after Sandra and I got divorced.
Well, she learned to like it a little. She got the print because it reminded her of you. I always understood. Some interesting topography there. The high ground mountains in the background, the valley and the trees around the Rio Grande.
Yeah, I always felt like I could really breathe there. And it's just about time for me to head on back, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Mr. Williams, can I help you?
No, I got it. You don't want to be late getting to the airport.
Oh, I've actually got a couple minutes. In fact, could you just give us a minute, Christine?
Yeah, I'll just be outside.
Okay, thanks.
She's one of the good ones.
Oh, yeah?
Always finds something useful to help with.
Good.
She's got some imagination.
Oh, that's good. Well, we'll ask the office to maybe schedule her a little more often.
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, Dad, I really do have to get going. I just wanted a little hug time here.
Oh, sure.
All right. So every time I've left him, I've imagined it might be the last time I see him. I thank him, hug him, tell him I love him.
You've given me so much that I could just...
I couldn't get along without you kids.
Oh, look, you're not getting away from this hug. There you go.
Oh, God, look.
All right, all right, all right. All right, I love you. I got to get going now. Okay. Mom used to be the one to cry when us kids left from a visit, and Dad never did. But now Dad does. It's like he's taken over her job and her emotion. Hey, Dad, just give me a wave or something.
Be safe. Love you.
Love you too, man. Hey. So, keep him good company for me, okay?
I will.
And just keep using your imagination to do what you think's best for him.
Okay. Not everyone's as sweet as your dad.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
It's just so great talking to you. You, sir, were an enlisted man's officer. I hope you understand what I'm saying.
No, still sharp mentally. I mean, he's great to talk to, actually, but he's just wearing out.
You know, I'm not afraid anymore.
Not afraid of what, Dad?
Not afraid of dying.
He started talking today about not eating and drinking anymore to bring the end closer.
So I was wondering if you might be able to squeeze in a visit to him soon. John, I don't think I'd wait too long.
Every breath is part of your story, Tom.